What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back again with another video, and this one right here is all about Tiffany from 90 Day Fiance. But before we get into it, let's start off by giving a big massive shout out to every single person that is a member of the channel, that is a member or patron, and that is a subscriber as we continue to grow. Now here's the thing though, ladies and gentlemen, we know that in the most recent season of the Single Life 90 Day, Tiffany had a date, didn't go to plan, then had another date, also didn't go to plan. So therefore, she decided to go back to South Africa. Why? To see Ronald. Now, she says the reason why she went to see Ronald was because she wanted to give him a chance to explain himself, but most importantly, was for her daughter to see her father again. But at the end of the day, we all know that the part where it comes to her child was a complete lie. She 100% went back there to rekindle things with himself. She portrayed it as if she wasn't willing to give him a chance. She portrayed it as if she had moved on. But really and truly, she went back there because she definitely wanted to see if she could make it work again. Now, the reasons behind it could easily be because, well, one, she tried a date and it didn't go to plan. And because she doesn't want to be single for the rest of her life, she thought, I'll go back to my comfort zone, which is a very common thing. But here's the thing, though, ladies and gentlemen. I came across a comment, which is why we're here right now, that I saw in the most recent video that we did make about Ronald and Tiffany in the most recent episode of The Tell-All, where we saw Ronald get physical, which was so disgusting to watch. But here's the thing though, I didn't realize that she went back to South Africa for 4 months. And the crazy thing about it is that we know that she left Daniel in the United States of America when she went back to South Africa to rekindle things with Ronald. Which means that, as per what a lot of people said in the comment section, which obviously I didn't even know about, otherwise I would have addressed it, which I'm addressing now because it has to be addressed so other people who are watching this video can learn from this woman's stupid freaking actions. She went back for 4 months and left her son Daniel in the United States for 4 months without his mother. Now, let's not forget though, when it comes to Daniel, Daniel is not Ronald's son. Okay? He's not, but when Ronald and Tiffany first got together, Daniel ended up calling Ronald dad because in the end, you know, he was the male figure he had in his life on a consistent basis. So obviously it made sense, which is absolutely fine, respectful. But of course, since the breakup has happened, Daniel has been very, very vocal about his feelings in terms of his mum now going out in the dating scene again. And one of the things that he was vocal about was, don't bring someone back home anytime soon. I don't want to have a new daddy figure in my life anytime soon because it's got to be someone that I know you're actually going to be with because, hey, I'm not having the same thing that happened to me as a kid, and I'm still a kid, happened to me with Ronald. We ain't doing that. So we know that Daniel already isn't really that much of a fan of Ronald anymore, which is fantastic. He shouldn't be, right? So of course, he wasn't really going to want to go back to South Africa. So Tiffany leaves her son. But here's the thing though, I don't want to use the word leave. I want to use the word abandoned. I want to use the word neglect. I also want to use the word selfish. And the reason why I want to use all those words is because here's the thing. She abandoned and neglected she abandoned her son by leaving him in the United States. She neglected her son by choosing to go to South Africa to rekindle a relationship with a man that she knew has a drinking problem as well as a gambling problem. So therefore, she knows that he's got one hell of a temper. Whether or not he's been physical to her is something that I'm assuming that he has not been, but she knows that he's an abusive person verbally. So she left her son to go back to that waste man. And then also leads me to the other word, selfish. Selfish to think that it's okay for her to take her daughter to a father that has no right to even be her father because he's disgusting. Selfish in the fact that she thinks it's okay to rekindle a relationship with the man that your son doesn't even want around you anymore, given the fact that if things did go well, you was then going to force your son to then have a relationship with Ronald again. That is selfish. And there are so many words that I could sit here and use towards Tiffany as well. And some people may say that I'm tripping. Some people may say that I'm being overdramatic. But here's the thing though. If you think that, I worry for you. If you think that, I hope you're not a parent. Because the fact is this though. When you are a parent, or even if you are a teacher, someone that is around an environment or industry that involves children, one thing or one of the many things that you do not do is be selfish towards that child. Neglect that child. Abandon that child. Anything. If I was still working in the profession that I was working before with children when it came to working in schools, if I went on a school trip with a child, am I then going to leave that child there and abandon that child and go back to school and leave that child stranded? No. Am I going to neglect that child? No. If I'm out and about and I've got a child on a school trip or a bunch of children, of course, and then I see a nice little fine honey, am I going to be selfish and be like, hey, little man, little girls, hey, class, just wait here. I see a little honey over there. I need to go holler at it real quick. Am I going to do that? Of course not, because it's my responsibility to put the child first, how the child feels first. Tiffany, did not do that. 4 months, 4 freaking months for a guy that you knew was no good for you, a guy that your son told you is no good for you. A man that broke your heart. A man that didn't even make you happy the moment that you moved to South Africa and lived with him. I've always said this and I always say this. People say that when they're in an abusive relationship, in a manipulative relationship, it is so hard to come out of it because you don't know how to, because the person that you're with makes you feel trapped. The person that you're with makes you feel like as if you can't get out, and if you do try to get out, life for you isn't going to be any good. They make you feel as if the grass is never going to be green on the other side, and they make you feel as if you are basically not worth anyone else, and you're lucky to have that person because nobody else will ever want you. So people who are in the relationship say these things amongst other things as well. But I will always say this. Hate me for it, but I will always say this. But when children are involved, if a child is not your motivation to leave as soon as you can, then why the hell did you have a child in the first place? We live in a world where too many people say, hey man, I want to have children. I want to grow up, have children, get married, have the blossom life. I'm going to be the best parent in the freaking world. And even if I am a single mother or a single parent, I'm going to be the best parent in the world. But then you meet a man or a woman and then you neglect your child. Make it make sense. But I know you can't make sense of that. I know you can't. First hand, I am the product of that environment, of having a mother that neglected me, abandoned me, was selfish towards me, or a man that she met, who she's married to, happily subjective. But this is not me projecting my life. Don't get it twisted. This is me purely saying that, ladies and gentlemen, please, 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 do not put your child in a situation your child shouldn't be in, just because you have an ego to want to make things work with someone that you know is not good for you. Just because your self-esteem is low doesn't mean your child should suffer. Just because your belief in yourself to find someone that is right for you doesn't mean your child should suffer. Just because you are impatient for the right person to come in your life, it doesn't mean that your child should suffer. Too many people, men and women in this world, rush themselves into relationships, into situationships with people that they shouldn't be dealing with. And they wonder why their life is so freaking toxic, because you make toxic choices, and those toxic choices affect your children. Don't have a child if you're not going to care about your child. If you're going to put yourself first and your feelings first that aren't even healthy feelings are okay, but toxic feelings are never, ever, ever. I am absolutely disgusted and repelled by Tiffany's behavior. Again, people might think I'm being a bit too harsh. I'm going in a bit too much. But here's the thing though, ask yourself this question. If I don't go in this hard, if I don't go in as passionate as I'm going in, then how is someone supposed to hear me? How is those children supposed to be heard if someone isn't putting their foot down? Even if I am potentially being dramatic to some of you viewers, what if I wasn't? What if I sat here and I made a video and I said, hey guys, so I noticed that Tiffany went to South Africa for 4 months. She basically neglected her son the whole time. In fact, I won't even use that word, okay? She left her son. She went to South Africa to rekindle her relationship with a toxic man, and therefore she left her son in America for 4 months, without seeing his mother for that whole time. And she knew that, that her son wasn't really going to be a fan of this decision because he's already been traumatized by the experiences, but I can't believe that she went to South Africa. And you know what, shame on her, but guys, I just want to put it out there. Let me know what you're thinking in the comment section. If I made a video that way, would that really be processed? Would that sink into anyone's head? It wouldn't. And it's not like I'm sitting there shouting. I've got a projected voice. But I'm just making sure that the words that I say sink in deep enough that they leave you, that they make you walk away from this video thinking, damn. Even if you walk away from this video disagreeing with me, the goal is you're still walking away with my voice in your head. And then one day you're going to put it into your own head and you'll be like, you know what? I thought he was being a bit harsh, but now I understand. And when you understand, but nonetheless, though, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you're thinking about Tiffany leaving her son for 4 months while she went back to South Africa with a man that she knew was a drunk, that she knew had a gambling issue, and then also on top of that, knew that he was not a faithful man. For her to then go back and realize that, guess what? Hold on a minute, he's still messing about with another woman, and also on top of that, he's still the same old person before with the drinking and the gambling. And only this time now, she's even pretty much exposed him to the rest of the world that he could even be physical as well. But don't get it twisted though. Even if, you know, I'm gonna leave it as that, because I could be here all day. Nonetheless though, you let me know what you're thinking down below and we will most certainly talk about it. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, like guys in the comment section. And we're out.